Wait a second. Okay. Any questions regarding this? Is it clear how you can work with a cross? You already talked about a cross with Professor Balash. Yes or no? Oddly quiet. Did you said that you are familiar with the cross. Surya, can you tell me,
Uh,
were you already familiar with the cross?
no, across not. I think, as per my knowledge, it's not taught. Uh,
Because you said, and also the first group said, yes, we did talk about the cross. So you think that you didn't?
I mean, I don't know. I I missed one class, so maybe in that class that have been taught. But if majority of people say like it has been taught, then it must have been taught.
I can barely understand you because you are on the headphones.
I'm saying that I think it's not taught.
Uh-huh. Elise, what about your opinion? Have you talked about the cross?
Across, yes, but I think we don't go on the details like that.
Uh-huh. Okay, so because this is a new because now I started recording, this is a new approach, you know. Before you would go like summarize at, and with the summarize at, the parameters are a little bit different. Okay, let me just check. Summarize at. Okay, so you had the vars, you see, vars, okay, and then the functions and the funs. Uh, I don't know if I could also use the same here. Probably yes. I'm not sure. Yeah. Okay, it is the same, and the names are actually not available here. You see, this part and the by operator are not available. So at least not in the documentation. Sometimes it is undocumented. You see, it's not available. Okay, the names, that parameter is not available in the summarize at. Okay. So definitely go with the across. And that's it. Now let's go to, okay, now I will explain you. I will create a new file, text, so that I can draw a little bit my artistic uh, talent, which doesn't exist, of course. Okay, so now we will go to visualizations. You already had the visualizations on Saturday with my AI avatar. Uh, we talked, my avatar talked about the Plotly, how you can actually change practically every chart that you create, you can transform it to Plotly, to interactive chart. Okay. Now there is a big difference how the charts with ggplot2. You said that you don't know the ggplot2. I don't know if Professor Laura told you a little bit about the ggplot2, probably not. How this differs from Python and, for example, Excel. And here we have a ggplot2. Okay. So what happens when you want to create a chart in Python or Excel? Let's start with Python. You, for example, take or Seaborn, whatever, you take a plot function, then you specify x and y and other parameters. Then if you want to do the scatter plot, you should go with something like scatter or plots, I don't know, bar plot, ln plot, and every time you have to specify all parameters, all from scratch. That means data, uh, labels, so you are actually doing the aesthetics, colors, and so on every time. Okay, this is classic Python Excel charting. Now let's go to ggplots2. In ggplots2, the data, the charts are actually following the concepts of grammar of graphics. What does that mean? We have different layers, okay? For example, this is a data layer. And I will map data to data layer. Then I have the aesthetic layer. I will map axis. Then I have a chart type. I will map geometrics, geom, okay? And so on. But these are the essential. So I am just mapping certain layers, okay? And I'm using the plus when I'm constructing the chart in ggplot2. Now let's go and start working on the ggplot2. Do you understand the key difference? In Python and Excel, you have for every chart you have to is completely individual, not linked to any to the other charts. No way, it's not linked. In the ggplots2, you can build on existing mappings. You will see how this works in practice. Okay. Now let's open. Where are you? Module 5. I copied the module 5, didn't I? Apparently not. Visualizations. paste. Okay, module 5. Okay, first I will run my libraries. Probably you don't have patch. Do you have a patchwork already installed? Otherwise, please install it.
Not studio I have, but here
I can really not hear you.
in
I don't know what is
positron,
with your microphones today. The Surya was almost completely silent, and before, uh, maybe it's something with the, I don't know, in the cables, in the, yes, Sunak.
in positron I think for that. So,
Uh-huh. Okay, so just make sure that you run this and that all your libraries are installed. Now then, install our dummy dataset. Okay, again, we have month, revenue, expenses, region, category, and profit. So we have different variables so that we can produce different charts. Okay. Now as I already mentioned, we are actually mapping, you see, data and the aesthetics and then the geometric, okay? And I will create here additional plots so that I will go step by step and you will see how this works, okay? I will start by mapping data, nothing else, just data. And our data is called sales data, okay? Only this. Now look what will happen. ggplots. Look what will happen. Okay? So the first layer is created and we only get gray area. If we would go, for example, with Excel and with Python, we cannot just map data. We will get an error, okay? So here we mapped our data. Now we have a different syntaxes that we can use. I will now use this outside of the ggplot. Aesthetics. So X will be expenses and Y revenue. Okay. I still haven't specified. Again, I don't know why positron is so non-responsive today. Okay. It's still working on the other chart. Hmm. I will have to. I will restart. Uh, it's really, really buggy. Okay, now again the R will continue to check for updates. There is no updates available. Okay, so about which version is this? Uh-huh. Okay, it's the latest one. Okay. So I am just adding, okay, run, run, and now I'm here, scatter plot, okay? If I run cell now, before we only had gray area, and now we don't have anything because, okay. So if you look now, we already mapped now the x-axis and the y-axis, okay? We still didn't provide, we haven't provided yet the type of chart that we will create, okay? So that is the third part, mapping the geometric to the object. And in our case, I will say map point. That is geom point is scatter plot in ggplot2. So now I provided the geom point to the object, okay? Is this clear? So you're providing layers. Of course, then you can play. For example, look, I can say that the size of it is the profit. I don't know if I have the profits. Okay. Okay, so now you can see this is now the profit. Okay. And I can immediately add or change the type of my chart. Now I will go from the point chart to the line chart. See? I could remove this. Okay. And I can add also another geometric. Just imagine how difficult this is in Excel. It was impossible in the past. Now they provided us with combinational, okay, mixed. So in Excel, you have, if you look in Excel, this was in the history, some, I don't know when they added this, but it was quite a challenge. Okay, so if we look at the recommended chart, okay, which one is the mixed one? Combo chart. Okay, so you see, it's a combination. You have completely separated type of charts, combo charts. Here you just use different geometric. This will stay the same. Also, if I add, for example, team minimal, okay, you see, completely like this. Once I got uh, the task to create, I don't know, like it was like 50 charts. I don't know why. Mm, I just went into the for loop, and in every loop I created just like changed the data, okay, or the year. For example, you could, like just change the filter and the chart just changed. It was like this. And when I looked at my colleagues at work, when they were using the Excel to do the exactly same task, it was like, I mean, you see, here it is a difference between a competitive student, competitive employee against employee who just does bare minimum and doesn't even want to educate to use more state of the art knowledge. Just for intermezzo, over the weekend I worked on my project again, the other one, the first one, the biggest one, and for the purpose, like that the AI will be able to suggest better contracts because the contracts are being created in the process of generating procurement. The contracts are being created. I I scrapped 7,000 contracts from the Slovenian's public contracts portal. Okay. Of course, I had to use the uh, proxy servers, but in the past, this would take me like 4 or 5 days. Really, 4 or 5 days, like to actually open the web page and see, okay, that is the structure. I had to do this. Here, I said to AI agent, go to that web page, analyze it, prepare everything to download the data, create procedure, and it went. And I got the 7,000 procurement contracts in 3 hours. I mean, this is also the time that took for the downloading process. I mean, the options are endless. Like here when I'm having you see, this is my that price competitor. Okay, I have a framework. You see, I say ultra think. Okay, I'll say plan, and I would just write what kind of a new feature I would like. Then I would specify, okay, I need that, and that. And then he will create the documentation. I will go through the documentation, say, no, change that column, that got, and so on and so on. And then it will program for 2 hours and I will get a new functionality. In the past, this would be like, oh my God, I cannot even uh, think about that anymore. So if you want to be a competitive student, employee, get the Claude Code, forget the ChatGPT, forget the Gemini for the coding, buy pro version of Claude, and then you will be able to use all these agents. For example, this is the UltraThink agent, and I can also say, for example, plan. And I said to him today, gave him the access to the folder where were the documents. And I said to him, okay, based on the documents, prepare me 4 hour course because on Wednesday I have a course. Prepare me 4 hour course uh, with all the scenario, all the prompts, and it took him 10 minutes, and I have all everything prepared for Wednesday. I mean, this is, I mean, this would, I can, it's for me hard to comprehend what this can do and what can it can help you to be so competitive. If you have a payable subscription to ChatGPT, cancel it and buy it for Claude and then use Claude Code for everything. You will be thankful to me for the rest of your life.
And is the same thing or not if we use Claude in Perplexity?
No, because Perplexity actually is not, I mean, you have to distinguish. Perplexity is actually only using other models for the work, okay? And Perplexity doesn't have this coding element because this is the Claude Code. The Claude Code you have is if you go to Claude Code, okay? You see, this is Claude Code. This is for working in terminal, or also you can work with Claude Code in VS Code. But it's really, like completely different from Perplexity. Perplexity is good for just give you the experience. But if you want to, you, for example, will want to work with data, okay? So you will just use the Claude Code and point to a folder full of data and you will say, create me a data mining project, blah, 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 blah. The best, for example, for you would be like now being in Claude, okay? I could say, uh, please prepare me quarto document for data mining project with clustering, create dummy data, and please keep in mind that I'm a beginner in programming. Maybe it would be nice to actually show the option in R and in Python. Okay, so I gave him the instructions and now he will prepare. So OpenAI cannot do this. ChatGPT, it will completely messed up the stuff. So see, now it's creating the Quarto Markdown document because if you want to the, because Claude Code is extremely good with coding. And we are giving him here a code. If I would say, for example, go to the OpenAI, say, prepare me outlines uh, for example, I can say, okay, we could probably compare these two, okay? But definitely, I would uh, cancel subscription to, okay. I'm not using ChatGPT almost. Okay, so this one is Slovenian. Okay. Now I gave him, probably I would have to go with okay. I'm pretty much sure that, you see, already it creates, no, 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 this is not what I want. Okay. I would have to use the canvas. uh, canvas. Okay. You see, it's already a problem for him. Look, it's already look what it I mean, it's already messing up the things. That's why I'm telling you. Look now, this one produced the Quarto markdown file. Voila, everything. I can just render it. In the meanwhile, this one is still stuck. It's stuck. Okay. Look. Okay, so here it will demand Python from me. That's why, okay, it's factor extra. If I would put this into, let's say, into my beautiful positron. Okay, save it. Clustering. And render document to HTML. Okay, now it will work for some time because it will probably work in both languages. Yes, you see Python also. You use the elbow method and the eigenvalues in. Okay, something is wrong. Probably something is missing. Yes, the reticulates. Okay. Viewer stuff from CRAN, reticulates, install reticulate. Reticulate is a package in R that enables you to change between R and Python or other languages in the same document, okay? So we are doing this in the same document. You see the same Quarto document, and we are doing this. Okay. And I guarantee you that in the end of this year, you will only be able to get a job if you will be AI engineer. Okay? Look at that. I mean, do not write when you will send the CV, write that you are also AI engineer. Okay? Not only, the data scientist. Okay? Okay, something is downloading. PyLibraries are now being installed. Write that you are also AI engineer. That's very important. Okay, in the meanwhile, while this is working, let's go and talk about so we are still with the geom point, and we added okay. and we added also the lines. Okay, here you see the line and the geom point and the team minimal. Okay. We can then add the color, okay, which will be based on our data. So you have to distinguish here. Okay, so again, something is wrong. Apply function, no module name pandas, of course. In this Python here that I have, I don't have pandas. I will probably okay, you get the point. So I would have to install also uh, the pandas and other important libraries in order to, of course, this to be working. Okay. And color here is based on the region. Okay. But if I would use color outside of the box, okay, so here you see, now let me just render this. Okay, so you see the color is based on region. So we added another dimension to our data, actually two dimensions. The second one is the profit. The larger the area of a circle is, the bigger the profit. Okay? If I would use empty cars, I would say ggplot2, no miles per gallon, and what else would I add? Because I would like to, horsepower. No, okay, let's go with weight. The color is the number of cylinders. Just a second. I have to take this call because it's apparently very urgent. Just a second. Okay, so here I'm having the weight and the miles per gallon. I am using the geom point, okay? For now, I will remove this part and T minimal, okay? So this is our simple weight and the miles per gallon. You can see that there is a negative relationship. Would you agree with me? The higher the weight, the less miles per gallon. Okay, so now I'm adding here the color and the size. Look. So, horsepower, you see, they are mostly here. Okay, and the number of the cylinders. Okay, so the blue, they have 8 cylinders. You can see that, I mean, it's logical what we see here on the screen. Miles per gallon and the weight. Okay, and then we add factor and horsepower. Okay, so how many dimensions of data do we have on this screen? Aya, can you tell me?
Yes.
How many dimensions?
Um,
So how many different variables are we exploring at the same time?
I'd say 3.
No, no.
Uh,
Look, We have what? X-axis, we have
Yes.
Y-axis, we have color, and we have the size of the circle. So how many?
Oh,
Four.
4, yes.
Four. Okay? So four different dimensions at the same time. We could even add, like let's say here shape would be whether it's automatic or manual. And then, okay, what's the problem? A continuous, okay, as character. Character. Okay, so now we added another dimension. Okay, so you see that I always mix them. So the triangle and the circle for the automatic and the manual. Okay, probably here are the manual and these are the automatic. But as more dimensions we give to the into the chart, it gets more complicated. And I'm not a fan like mixing everything, like together, because we could still add something else. What else? So at least two more dimensions. I could still add two more dimensions to this. So I would have like 7 dimensions in one chart. 7 dimensions. Too many. Definitely too many. Okay? Is this clear? I just added. Okay, so on the other hand, for example, if I remove this, okay, so you see the color here is in the aesthetic. Okay? If I remove this and put color outside of the aesthetic, I will say blue. Okay? I am then uh what is the blue color? Yeah. Um this should work. Color, maybe it's this. And no, 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 no. Okay. Okay, let me fix. I don't know what's wrong. This should be definitely. Oh, it wants to be in a there, yes. Okay, so I will just remove this and put it here, but not into the aesthetic. Not into the aesthetic, okay? You see, now we have blue. So if I put it into the aesthetic, the color will be based upon something, some of based upon a variable. If I put it outside of the aesthetic, I am actually controlling for every element that has a color that I specify. Okay? This is the difference in the aesthetic, outside of the aesthetic. Now everything is in it is in okay. Okay, so here you see if I specify the color in the code in the positron, you get the editor, and I can quickly just, like click somewhere and change the color. Okay. This is definitely not possible in RStudio. Okay, so now you see I have the combination of geometry. Let's go here with blue. Okay, so now I have blue lines. Okay. Then I can apply, so here I have month and revenue, and I'm applying the column, you see? I like this color, especially if I combine it with theme minimal. Okay, like this. I already pre-installed some of the oldies goldies. For example, if I show you the Excel, this was the old Excel. So this is how, oh, I don't have a library GG Teams. Okay. So this one is the old Excel. So this is how the charts look like in the old days. I'm not kidding you. This was like the background. I still remember these charts vividly. How vividly I remember them. Then you can say Excel new. This one is how they look now in the new Excel. Okay, let's see, completely similar to what you would get in the new Excel. So if you have, okay, so now we have AI, and I think that the need for the package that I will now introduce is practically gone. So in the RStudio, if you install the package Esquisse, and by the way, this is a French package from French authors. It was a really very important package for me back in the days because it really enabled you to create chart to a certain level quickly by drag and drop. Okay, it doesn't work in the positron, not that I'm aware of. And the squeeze should mean it means the sketch. So squeeze is the sketch. Probably I'm correct, Elise. Am I correct? Squeeze is the sketch.
I don't know.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Yes.
Aha. Okay. So in let me go here. If I have sales data, okay, I will just put the sales data so that I will just introduce you how this works. Okay, I am running the dummy data. Then I will say sales data. And when you will install the squeeze, okay, I told you the squeeze, okay, when you install this package is then added to the add-ins in the RStudio. So into the add-ins, and you have a ggplot2 builder. Okay. And now this one is being, so I didn't actually, okay, let me close it and select it. ggplot2 builder. Okay. So what is in orange is a nominal variable. What is in blue is a numeric variable. And I can just simply say, voila, month. And I would look at the revenue by month. Okay, you see? Or I can look at the revenue profit and the revenue on X. I get immediately point, and I can then also the size, I can put the expenses. Okay. And you will see that under the code, the code is being generated. Okay. Here you have add labels. You can add, like okay. And you can see that you get the caption is down there. Here is the title, subtitle here. You see, I could also put the category under fill. And it didn't actually, that we should go under the color probably. Yeah. Okay, under the color. And now region to facet. Okay, so see now I have also the facet for two regions. And here the code is always, you see, it's always created. And you just copy this to clipboard and then proceed from from there manually, okay? So now I would say revenue versus profit by category, subtitle, okay? And the caption, data source company says data, okay? Voila. The charts will be here in plot. I can zoom it. Of course, I would use, I mean, the default colors are ugly. I don't know what is your opinion, but I find them very ugly. Is there any, do you have any other opinion? Maybe you find this very beautiful? Probably not. Okay. Are there any questions? If not, I suggest break for 15 minutes.
Sir, I have a question,
Yes.
but it's about the Python projects. I sent you an email saying that
Yes, and I consider it, so don't worry. You did, I said that you can send me by email.
I tried again all weekend. It didn't work. I don't know how to do to export a PDF. I don't know if the
Have you
problem.
tried to print you have to print it.
Yes,
Y-
that's what I tried to do. I
And it
even
didn't work.
no, it's still charging. Performing exports into PDF, not working. I
Then
don't know if
probably something
someone
wrong
did
with the okay, so don't worry. I will just send me the date. Have you sent me the data?
I put on courses
Yeah.
the other
Okay.
file.
So that I will be many so that I will that I can render it, okay?
Okay,
Don't
it's
worry,
just
it
the
will
PDF one
be
that I can't.
so it
But
will
I
be it will be graded as that PDF was sent, okay?
okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Link. Okay, then I will move this here. Okay, so again here, as I already mentioned, we have titles, subtitles, nothing special. Yes, and before that, we have a fill, okay? You see, for example, again, if I have fill as with not in the aesthetics, I get the color. That's actually the color, the fill. If I have it inside the aesthetics, like here, the region, okay, you see that the regions are now in different colors. So the north is this red and south this what cyanide, what is this greenish cyanide color. Not the best looking colors, as I already mentioned. But we will talk about how we can actually change the colors. Then we can format the scales. Okay, so you will find like scale Y manual, scale Y brewer, scale Y distiller, scale Y continuous. So in our case, we have a continuous. Y is continuous. And what I am actually doing is, because if you look at current, look at my, make it bigger, you can see the labels, okay? They're not the best. So actually here I'm specifying put a comma, okay? And limit, so we are actually saying our scale should be from 0 to 120,000. And this one breaks means every 20,000 create a label. Okay, if I run it, okay, now if you look, so we have nicer labels. You see 20, 40, 60. I could go by every 10. So these are all the things, you have to consider when you are creating the charts. I think that this is too too overcrowded. What do you think? Definitely 20 by 20,000 was okay. Like this. And definitely I would put here plus team manual, the manual team team minimal, not manual. Okay. Minimal. Okay. So this one looks, for example, pretty nice. I would add maybe data labels. Okay. Still room for improvement. Then you can add, see, fill here manual. Okay. So that means for region, because here I'm specifying the fill region, fill, and that scale fill, I'm saying manual. So manually, I'm providing nicer colors. You know that there is a complete science. I already mentioned this to you. Which colors should people use in charts? What kind of colors? Okay. So here you see I have now pretty nice color compared to this. Which one do you prefer?
The second one.
The second one. Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. Okay. You have complete brewer palettes. For example, here you see I'm for fill, I'm using the brewer set. I will now explain you what that means. Okay. If I go and showed you the brewer, okay? Palette. So these are for qualitative, for nominal. These are for nominal values. You see this set 3, set 2, set 1. So for example, if I say here set 1 and run it, okay, actually I get what I had before. Okay, if I go with dark 2, okay, you see it takes this one. If I would have like 3 uh regions, then it would take the first 3. Okay, now it takes the first 2. For example, if you look at the paired, okay, so you see paired that one and that one. I think that if I use the minus direction, so if I use direction, I think that I can use direction. It goes, no, direction. Okay, so this one is paired. No, then probably what's direction? I have no idea because I don't spend so much time. -1 probably. No, let's look the skill brewer. Okay. Scale brewer, the direction 1, 1, 1, 1 by default. If -1, yeah, so then I was right. -1 should go from other side, but I don't think that. No, no, it doesn't go. It is the same as the 1. No, they are just changing the positions between. Yeah, they're changing the positions between the fill. I wanted to go from. Oh, again, scale. Annual scale. What was scale brewer? Scale brewer, okay. Again, probably there is a way to. Okay. Mm-hmm. No. I would have to look into this more detail, but nevertheless, okay, so we have continuous. So here you see when I'm having the the color is the profit, okay? The profit is interval variable. Do you agree? Because it can take any value, okay? And I am specifying the gradient. So I want to start by red and go to green. Okay, so this would be like a dashboard from red to green. Because you see here it is low profit and here is a green profit. Maybe so for this one I can also use this, the first one, you see? I can go, for example, I can say palette, I guess. Palettes. Okay. Oh no, I cannot apparently. Let me just check. Gradient, scale color gradient, name low high. No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No, it doesn't take the palette. So I could go again with fill. Just in this case, I would say scale color brewer. Continues to discrete scale. Continuous relevance to discrete scale. No, it is not. Uh, Sequential to order data. Ah, mm. Okay, this is qualitative, definitely. Trim break. Yeah, I know what the problem is. That the profit is interval and this one is for discrete values, like, you know, good, bad, very bad, bad, neutral, good, and very good, okay? Like this. So I cannot assign this to the brewer. Okay. But still, let's try fix. Let me see. Color. Oh yeah, it's profit bin. Okay, so yeah. Not that what I want. Do you know what happened in this case? Mid, high, low, median labels. Okay, let's. So it happened that the palette, this palette I want to use is for discrete values, and the profit is interval value. So that's why it proposes that I cut the profit interval into nominal values, okay? So this here, the profit is actually now being cut into bins. Look, if I execute this part, let me see. sales data. No, this one, only this part. You see, the profit is low, medium, very high. So it is low, medium, high, very high. Okay, it's actually being cut into in four breaks four, and then I can use the set two. No, I would like to use, yeah, the set two is now again here. Okay, like this. I mean, this is one option, okay, but yeah. Okay, we talked about the themes already. You can customize the theme. Also, like here, I am changing the angle, how the data is being printed. So you see, 45-degree. That is especially important when you have very long, I mean, if you have long labels, and this can really distort, they can really make your chart miserable. Don't put very long values of labels. Try to, try to uh, have in mind how this will look when you will create a chart, okay? In the last resort, you can always say chord flip. That will change the orientation of your chart. Okay? This will change the orientation of your chart. I am using this quite a lot, especially when I'm lazy and I don't want to, deal with the labels. I just use the chord flip. I flip it like from this to this, and I don't care anymore regarding the sizes of chart. But still, you have to be very careful, because they can be very long. If you have a long labels, then this part will be moved towards the right, and then you have like a very long label, and then your chart will start here. Okay, this doesn't look nice in my opinion. Okay, then we have facet. You will have to use this in your project, definitely. Look here, facet wrap. Okay, this is already what I was doing before. So you can create one chart that is actually split into two or more charts. It can be two or more charts. Okay, so now you see I have two charts, one chart which is actually two charts, north and south, and chart for every region. If I would have four regions, I would get now four charts. I mean, this is still the same chart, treated as one chart, but inside it is splitted, okay? Inside it is splitted. For example, if you have empty cars, you could split them by the number of cylinders, by the number of gears. You would have as many cylinders, you would have three charts. And then you, with the facet wrap, you can, for example, here, You see, you can specify some of the options like scales free y, free y, or I could say free everything. Free, not just y. Okay. So the scale now is being different, you see? So also here you can see that it's February to December, different scale, and the revenue, the scale is different because it takes what it needs. If you give a free pass, it will take only what it needs. If I don't use this, okay, everything will be the same on the same scale. On the same scale. So you see the same scale up, down, and the same scale bottom. Okay. You put here scale 3. And this changes. This is very, very I will show you now on the example of empty cars how important this is. You will see how important this is. Okay, if I say empty cars and yeah, like this one, okay? Like this one is done weight miles per gallon by cylinders. Okay, let me go. Okay, let me go like it's okay. So do you see anything that bothers you? Do you see here anything that bothers you? Elise, what would you say?
For what? Sorry.
Do you see here anything that bothers you? That is not okay? Or Aya, now that I will not always call Elise. Aya, do you find here anything not good?
Um,
Look
I'm
at the
not
space
sure.
here. Look at the
Yes,
space
there's a
here.
lot of the points are concentrated in a few
Yes, space here.
areas, and there are a
Okay.
lot of spaces.
Space here, you
yeah.
see? I mean, okay. That's why if I say here, scale should be 3. Now we get a completely different. Okay, I would maybe put the size a little bigger. Size, what? 1.5. No, make them 2. Okay. So now you can see that we get different. So the scale down is different. So you see, and the Y scale is also different. So the chart occupies the whole area, not only, because we had fixed scale like here, a little bit here and here. Be very careful when you're doing the charts. Okay, so here I'm using the facet grid. Before it was facet wrap, just like a little bit different function. But look, now I got 6 different charts, which is treated as the same chart. And as soon this gets very complicated to understand. Okay, so here we have A, B, and C because we have 3 categories. Also, inside the category, fill is the category, region category. Okay, that's why the fill, yeah, this one is of no use as we have. Okay. And also this one, run cell. Okay. So probably this would be my chart by default. I have no problem putting this kind of a chart into the doctoral dissertation. Because I really have no feeling for aesthetic, by default. Okay, I always say I take by default. The owner of the package already uh, knew what he was doing. Okay, so I said by default. Sometimes we can add the trend line. You see here the geom smooth, we add a trend line. So to see how the data are actually, if there's any trend correlation for the data. If you are annoyed, as I am, by this gray area, you should put the standard error to false. Then you only get the trend line. Okay, so this is the trend line. And there is definitely a positive, very strong correlation, almost the expenses are equal to revenue, okay, by this, according to this trend line. You have another already built in, okay, like that one. It tries to, like smooth the line, okay? So you see, this is another trend line curve which tries to, yeah, that, I mean, I prefer a linear LM, linear model, because it is the most simple to explain. The most simple to explain. And now here, when I have the empty cars, okay, I could get the geom smooth. Okay, I will take the geom smooth from here. And I will go to linear model and run it. Geom. Okay, so now I have 3 linear models for the correlation between miles per gallon and the weight. You can find that they are all negative, okay, and pretty strong. What does that mean? The heavier the vehicle, the less miles per gallon it gets, okay? Like this. I mean, these are already, you know, like not, these are already, this is already one step forward compared to just like descriptive analysis, okay? You already do some kind of, you know, like linear modeling, though you are not actually using the LM function. I don't know if you, with Professor Laura, you use the LM function. LM in R. Yes, no? So like, what did you wanted to say? I didn't hear you.
No, I am not sure about it, so that's why I
Yeah,
didn't.
so the LM function actually gives you the number, you know, like, so the fastest way would be, for example, I would say linear model, I would say linear model here is linear model where the miles per gallon would be dependent variable, the weight would be independent, okay? And then I would use the summary. Now you will get a very disturbing output, don't worry. So this is what you get, you see? But once you are proficient statistic, I mean, this is all that you need to know. Okay, this tells me the model is statistically significant. This tells me that the weight is statistically significant. So if the weight goes up 1 unit, okay, 1 unit, the miles per gallon goes down by down by 5 gallons, by 5 miles per gallon. Okay, so if I would write the function, linear function, in this case, it would be miles per gallon is 37.3 minus 5.3 of the weight. Okay, so this is actually now complete model, and the R squared, have you talked about the R squared where in any of the courses till now? The R squared tells you how much variance of the dependent variable, in our case miles per gallon, is explained by the variance by changing the weight. And it's 75%. That means a lot. That is a very good result, okay? So this is our model to actually predict the miles per gallon of a certain vehicle. Okay? This is our model. This is the linear regression. Sometimes you will also add the horizontal lines. You see here, no, it's geom line. No, this is not what I wanted to see. Horizontal line here. Okay, H line, you see, I add the line by average revenue. So I calculate average revenue, and then I add the horizontal line that starts at the average revenue. It will be dashed, red color, and that thick. Okay, so you see, I get like this, so that you know what you can add. Okay, so if you will write this into AI, it will create a ggplot for you. And we can see that in June, we start to actually make a good revenue. So these are that months from January to May. It's not that profitable. Okay. With the patchwork, you will combine charts together. Okay. Usually you will see plus. Okay. So I have one chart, second chart, and you see I put them together. I could also use pipe. Okay. Pipe, and I get them together. If I use a slash, it will be in the next row. Okay, so now the charts are in 2 rows, you see? Just simple by using slash or this. Now here I can combine 3 charts. 2 in the first row, 1 in the second row. Like this. And you can already see that we can create dashboards. Okay? We can create nice dashboard. For example, this one is sales analysis dashboard. Just imagine putting this in a Quarto document, do 2 or 3 sentences that you explain, and this is what you get for the chief executive officer or the chief financial officer. Everything that you need. Just explain it a little bit. Okay, so here just, like we have, well, how many? Yeah. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 in every row. So 4 charts. Just run them. And this is the dashboard. Okay. This is a nice dashboard. And now you could, for example, just copy this into Gemini or in Claude and say, create me a code in Python to do this. Okay, let me try. Why I can't right click doesn't work? That's strange. In the RStudio, right click like this. No, I just need that one. I will go to Claude Code. I will say new. Claude, based on the picture, write me a Python code to do similar dashboard. Also, you create a dummy data. Should be a Python code. Okay, like this. And run it. Then we will come back. You already went through the Plotly. Okay, the Plotly actually creates you the interactive chart from the chart that you create. I'm not really a fan of Plotly, if I'm honest. Okay, Plotly, custom hover text, you see, text. you do custom text. Like now you have a custom text, label comma. With Quarto, you can create dashboards, interactive dashboards, you know? You have Quarto dashboards. Quarto dashboards examples, okay? With the help of AI, look, you can create this on your own without any problem. Without any problem. Just use AI, say this is my data, create a Quarto dashboard. This is all done in Quarto. Okay. Okay, what was the last one was? Okay, walk through, you see, getting started, Quarto, explore further. I mean, definitely very powerful. Okay, voila. This was done in Python. Okay, in Python. Interactive. I must say, okay, oh, no. Is there no Control Z? So this one definitely nicer. This bubble chart, revenue by expenses. See, I mean, how easy it is now to actually do something. With this, I would conclude